All right, so I'm happy to be joined right now by Chris Walla. Chris, who is a producer and guitar player and keyboard player for Death Cab.
Yes.
I got to give you a heads up, you're going to need somebody to wipe some of the drool off of some of this equipment because I've just been salivating over it. I want to know about all of it, but mostly I want to know about, is that an MS-20?
It's a Korg MS-20, yeah.
That's an incredible instrument, and you actually have, you have to have a tuner set up to it because it's analog tuning, right? So
that's true, and it's it is sort of in the, it's one of the last like monophonic synthesizers that anybody ever like mass produced, and it was like right before they started doing MIDI stuff in 1982, 83 about, and it is about as manual as it gets. Like there's no presets, there's no, you kind of have to set it up and
every time, right?
Every time, and I've got this little list, this little code of like what I do on all the songs on the record. So like where the filters are set and where the envelopes are set. And
in production, just take a still of that. That's going to be my lottery number pick later on. And is it true that when these things sort of like heat up and cool down, that it actually can change the tune as well?
Actually, that's one of the coolest things about the MS-20. That definitely happens like with the Mini Moog, or like there's another keyboard we used on the record, the EML Electrocomp. It's just like, you gotta let it sit for 20 minutes, and like you can't play festivals with it because it gets hot and it gets angry.
It's like an old car.
It's totally like an old car, yeah. But
or an old lady.
Yes, exactly. The MS-20 totally holds its tune. This actually went to England, and they had one in England when we were mixing the record, so I didn't need to open it up for anything. Because you can use it as an effect too. You can just patch stuff into it
and use filters.
Yeah.
Right.
But it went all the way to England, came all the way back, and when I pulled it out of the box, it was still in tune.
Yeah, you don't want to trifle with this. This is, as you said, the end of an era, monophonic. After this came what, the Poly 6 and the mono poly, and then all the chord poly stuff. So then the other thing that I was salivating on, actually I literally may have, oh no, those are tears. The Klon Centaur. Now this is actually the early model.
Yeah.
I think that Jeff, tell me if I'm wrong, but Jeff Farina from Karate had something to do with the wiring of this.
I don't know. I've never heard that before.
Zing.
That's nice.
But, and then they later made a sort of a simplified kind of Centaur that I've been on a waiting list for 3 years.
Well, he quit making them, I guess.
Yeah.
And he is sort of a notorious paranoid crank. I've never met him. I hope I can term him that way and have him not be offended.
Just try to bump me to the top of the list if you do.
The crazy thing about the Centaur is that he is so protective of that circuit that the whole thing is encased in epoxy. Like he builds the circuit boards and wires everything by hand, and then he like blacks out the whole thing so you can't rip it off.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, but at some point or another, they got really expensive. Like I bought that one new, and it was like $200 or $300.
How long ago?
Like 2004, 2005.
Yeah, that's like, I feel like that's right before they kind of became
They're going for
commodities.
like $1,000
Yeah.
now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah.
I have to do like 10 more of these gigs to afford one of those. But and then what are these? I've never seen these little.
All right, yeah. This is just a switching pedal for.
Oh, it's just lights.
It's just lights. That's all it is. Your red light, green light. It's fun.
That's cool.
This helps me remember if I'm stopping or going. No, this is my favorite delay ever, the Maxon 8080, but it's not a true bypass pedal, and it actually kind of spits out this nasty high oscillation junk even when it's off. So instead of using the switch on this, I just leave it on all the time and use this.
Gotcha.
That's the idea.
Gotcha. And then of course this is, I think I know these hand painted.
That is a Zvex.
Zvex.
Yeah, it's a Zvex boost pedal.
Those are great.
Super
and then
fun.
Lastly, some Acme gear.
Yeah, right.
Not to be missed.
Right. A good friend of ours from Seattle, this guy named Jesse Quitzland, started making Acme amplifiers. They're sort of his own designs, kind of from the ground up, like 5 or 6 years ago. And that's, I play through the Varsity over here, and then this is Ben's amp, and it's sort of a recreation of the old Silvertone 1484, but without the reverb, like the Twin 12 sort of thing. And they are pretty bulletproof. He's doing some really amazing work.
Very cool.
And he's a nice guy.
That helps.
It does
the
help.
old curmudgeon-y kind of Klon Centaur guy, he can you know what. Unless he wants to give me free gear, and then we can talk. Well, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thanks for your attention to detail.
Definitely.
Everything sounds so great.
Cool. Thank
Chris
you.
Walla, everybody.